Reggie, very good morning to you. We're not live yet. Keep an eye on the LinkedIn page itself to see, does that trigger anything
All
at
right.
your end? Can you see any changes?
I'm usually it's about 20 seconds behind, so I'll give it
Oh,
just
yeah.
a second to see, but we'll hold on here. 20 to 30 seconds behind. Let me just see if it starts up.
While you're
Not
waiting there,
seeing
Reggie,
yet.
I will include you in the joint call next week with Wayne so that we can iron out all these issues that have popped up over the last few weeks on the platform. So I'll give you a shout when I fix a meeting with him.
I don't see anything on this link that I was on that we published during the week, but I do see a new one that said join Reggie's live event because I'm restreaming it. That
Is that
has
on a different? Is it? It's not the same URL. A different one, is it?
it appears to be, and I can, but this is the one that I'm not seeing it from your channel. That's my particular restream of it. I'm not seeing the one from you. Do you want me to put the new URL in there again? Or are we in the wrong event?
Yeah, I think it's triggered by going in there this morning. It triggered this to come up again. So this is what I said about 10 minutes ago. I think it's duplicated and it has put up two events, and everybody's going to be going to the other one, it looks like. But it should send out a message that we're live elsewhere.
Well, I'll go to the other event and I can put the URL for the event.
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's just see if we can get anything on LinkedIn that's going live, because that's the problem. You know, you used to think about,
It is live on LinkedIn now on the one that popped up.
is it? Right.
The one that popped up and said like join Reggie's live video event, but that's because I put it to add my channels.
Yeah. Let me go into LinkedIn again here and see what's coming up. Is there a notification? So let's see.
But we need
Yeah.
your live event though, because people join when they see your thing, and I see yours isn't on here.
Oh God. Jesus.
Do you want me to delete my post then so that it's not showing there? Just because.
No, don't worry about having told people to go to the wrong place. Just leave that for the moment. Let's just see if we can get this thing live on whichever platform. So is this saying we are live, but it's not sending out a message?
We are live, and I'm looking at us on LinkedIn right now. There's 3 people here.
And can you see me waving now?
I will in about 20 seconds.
Oh, well, if so, we'll run with that then. You still see the wave? Just make sure we're not in the wrong one.
See if my comment pops up.
Oh, yeah, something's come through there.
Yep, we're in the right one.
Okay, alrighty.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Yes, we're kicking off in 1 minute. In 1 minute's time. Oh, I see it coming through now. Okay, that's good. Right. Okay, I do fear we've sent a lot of people to the other one. We will fix to the other studio, so we'll have to fix that next week. That to come up before. Alrighty, we'll be kicking off in 1 minute, and we've got a busy chat show again today. So
Just a quick question: do you want me to put this link to the one we're live into the
yes,
one
please.
where it's not
Yeah.
live? Okay.
Yeah. Nice one. Thanks, Reggie. Okay, and meanwhile we get our music lined up. Okay. Alrighty. Hello, folks. It's 1 o'clock. It's Friday. It's our AI innovation and ethics chat. I again apologize. We've been having trouble with this platform, and it looks like we've duplicated the event when I was tinkering with it earlier today. So we're going to bring an expert in next week and get this finally sorted out. So apologies to anybody that's has to look at this or listen to this later on because they couldn't access the live version. My apologies. It's a new platform. We've been playing with it. Was working. Something's gone AWOL, and we'll try and get it fixed for next week. But anyways, here we are. It is what it is. Hopefully people will see the new link we just put out, which is where we are right now. So welcome to everybody. Reggie in Texas, Fort Worth. It's good to see you. Breakfast time over there, 7 a.m. It's
That's
1
right.
o'clock. Yeah, it's 1 o'clock lunchtime here in the UK. Lovely blue skies outside. Just back from Ireland last week. Blue skies there as well. As always, we'll start with a bit of music. We've got a very busy schedule. We'll tell you about that. But just to play us in, here's something we were talking about last week, which was Palantir and some of the behavior, strange cultish behavior that is going on in Palantir. They have now accessed the National Health Service database in the UK. There's Advanced Software, Peter Thiel's Advanced Software company, who have a $300+ million contract with the National Health Service and its data, which is worrying to me because they are also a military company serving weapons to Israel and elsewhere. And their CEO, we talked about Alex Karp last week, saying that he wants to put the fear of death in any American adversaries. And I thought, is this the kind of language a AI company should be using to a general audience? It's really strange. It smacks of cultishness, and hence we have a track. Why am I telling you about this? We have a track from Tim Hain, a relatively unknown artist. I think he's a genius, the guy who found it. And this is Somebody Turn on the Light. This is about the NHS itself. It's struggling for resources. And the British Medical Journal have said, why has the NHS paid out 300 million plus to Palantir? Anyways, here is a song about the state of the NHS and the state of loneliness in society and all such matters. So beautiful song by Tim Hain, and here it is. Somebody Turn on a Light.
Would you walk me to my car? I'm afraid of the dark. Just last week I was attacked in a car park. Was a gang of youths could see I'm a cripple and I can't walk. I said, oh my God, she's easy prey. Everybody's easy prey these days. But was there ever honor among thieves? Still it's hard to believe. Somebody turn on the light. It's getting mighty dark. Somebody turn on the light. I don't care who you are. Somebody turn on a light, illuminate my soul, illuminate this world.
Illuminate my soul, illuminate this world. Isn't that just great stuff? We'll play the full track from Tim Hain, Somebody Turn on a Light, about the National Health Service and hospitals and life and so on and so forth. We'll play the full thing at the end for those that are interested in listening to it. And we'll put the link to this track, of course, on the notes, which we publish on my blog, prsmith.org/AI-topics. Reggie, if you're kind enough, as we chat at some stages, if you pop that up a couple of times, that'd be great. Okay, now we have got a very busy session and some alarming stuff, but we also like to end up with positive stuff as well each week. So we've got Facebook alarming failings, a 60-minute Australian video, which continues our investigation into this shocking book that came out and has caused a lot of trouble. We'll have a chat about that, particularly the video itself. We'll follow that with Meta's friend bot dangers. Meta is really going for the jugular with creating friend bots and what implications that has. We'll then have a look at another issue about privacy and the AI-powered glasses. Does this mean the end of privacy as we know it? And ChatGPT-induced psychosis. Now, this is frightening stuff, GPT-induced psychosis. Now, we've touched upon some of this stuff with social media and early stage AI last year, but let's bring it back up again and get Reggie to update us on that. We want to then turn positive and talk about the good stuff that's out there. So, you know, we've got, I've discovered, and I'd ask people listening if they want to have a go at these, this little tool, this little piece of AI that we've discovered, which is one that allows you to create an app with no coding skills whatsoever, just pure prompting, ordinary language. Obviously, there's a bit of an art in developing it, but we're going to open that one up and throw it out there. And if anybody has a chance to play with it, that would be great. We'd really love to hear your thoughts on it. And we want to make this chat more inclusive and more feedback and more, if you spot items from here and there, that'd be great. Good to see you, Dottie Mugabe, all the way from Uganda, and Robin, sunny London, as you say, which is great. So we would welcome people if they want to try these little apps. And sometimes we say there's a training program we've seen that's quite good. And if people try and give us feedback, that's great, because then it's a really live community of people participating and helping us with material as well. And we then look at another nice little app, which is a fake news detector. And that seems to be available. Seems to be free of charge. I imagine it's a freemium of some description, but we'll have a look at that. I might, time allowing, mention Alex Brown's idea generator, again staying on the positive side. And there's plenty more, but we do try and keep it condensed down to 30 minutes. So let's just kick off with the very first item, which is when we're looking at this Facebook story, this really shocking book, which is so well written. I am just so impressed with the writing style of it. But it's shocking what went on, or what goes on inside Meta, or Facebook in particular. Now, the reason why I've raised this again, because we've talked about this for the last few weeks, is that this is 60 Minutes program from Australia, and they've secured an interview with Sarah Wynne Williams. Now, why this is particularly interesting, and why we will post the interview, it's actually a 20-minute interview. It's a summary of the 60-minute interview. So we'll put up the 20-minute summary from 60 Minutes Australia, and it's called, Facebook Alarming Failings. Now, what's happened is, the reason why I find this fascinating is that Meta have actually stopped Sarah Wynne Williams, the author, from promoting or doing interviews since, and this is reported by BBC on the 13th of March. So, Meta has won an emergency ruling in the US to temporarily stop a former director, that's Sarah Wynne Williams, of Facebook, from promoting or further distributing copies of her memoir. So they're stopping the sale, it seems to me, of the book as well. Now, I heard this was happening, so I bought a copy as quickly as I could. And it's a breathtaking read.
Me too.
You got a copy as well. That's good. Okay. So Facebook's parent company, Meta, say the ruling, which orders her to stop promotions to the extent within her control, quote unquote, whatever that means, and affirms that the false and defamatory book should never have been published. They would say that, wouldn't they? Macmillan, the publisher, they say, we're committed to upholding freedom of speech and that she has a right to tell her story. And she was due to do extensive media in the UK and internationally, and now she has been gagged. She's been prevented from.
I thought Mark Zuckerberg decided he was a free speech absolutist and didn't think that they needed moderators to check for false news on Facebook. And I thought that he was decided, I mean, this is from recent reporting. He was all like, everybody should be able to put their hate speech and their disinformation because of free speech. But all of a sudden, he's not such a big proponent of free speech when he doesn't like what the person is saying. And I think we're seeing this with the Broligarchs. It's a little concerning.
Yeah, it is. It's extremely concerning. Do as I say, but do as I say, but not as I do, in a sense. So yeah. Anyways, it's worth having a look, because if anybody spots, please do send us links to any of the other interviews that she has done before the gagging order kicked in. Because this 20-minute highlights of the 60-minute Australian program goes into some of the stuff we talked about. Sheryl Sandberg, inviting her to sleep with her, and examples of other, inappropriate behavior for a boss with staff. It goes into the Chinese Communist Party be given access to everything. It seems everything, to how to work the system, so that they could edit and control the content that's on there. Stuff that was said that they wouldn't do, but apparently did go on. So she gives some serious examples. It's a shocking interview again, even though we know about it. So I thought I won't dwell on it. Just say it's put out there, and we will post that. I think we're trying to support, this investigation into the Bradley Gorge in a sense. So the Facebook alarming failing 60 Minutes Australia. We'll post the link to that, so those of you that want to watch it can. It's about a 20-minute piece. Now, something else that Meta have been up to, which has caught my eye and concerned me a little bit, is that Meta are developing AI bot friends or friend bots. Call them what do you call them, Reggie? And tell us what's the story here.
Well, so yeah, I mean, like, I guess it's AI friends, AI. Let me see what Zuckerberg calls them. But well, here's the thing: when Meta was seeing declining engagement on Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg's solution was let's flood Facebook with AI bot accounts. We recall this was in the media a couple months ago, and then now he's suddenly very concerned about the fact that most Americans, this is from a recent video that was released, an interview with him. Most Americans have fewer than 3 friends, but there's a demand for 15 or more. So he's proposing AI friends as a solution. So once again, let's flood them with AI bots to solve the loneliness crisis. And here's a quote from him: as the personalization loop kicks in and the AI just starts to get to know you better and better, I think that will be really compelling. And Louisa Jarofsky, one of our favorite AI governance and ethics writers on LinkedIn, points out that that's kind of in some ways maybe a slip up to reference to the addictive, manipulative nature of AI personalization through chatbots. She points out that what is getting clearer every day is that lawmakers, policymakers, and advocates have vastly underestimated how risky AI chatbots can be, because we're living in the AI chatbot Wild West where companies do as they please. The idea that Meta, this is a company who has offered, from reports, has offered advertisers the ability to reach customers at psychologically vulnerable moments, such as something you've mentioned, Paul, where when a teen girl deletes a selfie, to then take that signal as not liking the way she looks, and selling that to a beauty company to send their beauty product ads to her. And there was in 2017, the Australian publication alleged the company had crafted a pitch deck that included the moments of psychological vulnerability and its uses by targeting terms like worthless, insecure, stressed, defeated, anxious, stupid, useless, and like a failure, so that in those moments of psychological vulnerability, advertisers can hit them with something that they'll buy. And this deep misuse, you could say, or exploitation perhaps,
Of
of personal
privacy,
data.
of privacy, Reggie. They're ripping privacy to pieces. No one wants to know you're feeling low, you're feeling worthless, you're feeling useless. And that's very private stuff. And now they're kind of sharing that with advertisers and other people.
Yes, and the concern is with its 1 billion plus users to befriend its AI chatbots, because AI chatbots can be extremely manipulative and foster dependency, giving Meta full control over its users. That's what Louisa Jarofsky's concern is, and I think that given their record, we can all be a little concerned about that as well.
So we've actually talked about bots being engaged by Meta previously, but a different level, which was fake bots, for want of a better word, engaging in conversation with Facebook sites, for example, so that it seems like there's much more attention, and you're bumping up engagement levels because there's a dialogue going back and forward with several comments being generated and maybe shares, etc., so that it kind of pushes, it appears to be highly engaging material, which gets higher rankings. Now that's a separate thing, but that's kind of naughty as well, because that's not real people saying this is really interesting material, and therefore more people will watch it because more people are looking at it, and so therefore bots can kind of draw traffic and more attention and interest as things are pushed up the rankings. So that's a naughty thing in itself. But coming back to the chat bot, or the friend bots, or whatever we should call them, yeah. Now, we've talked about this over the last 2 years, Reggie. We've looked at where this wave of mental health issues that people have, particularly in America, 1 in 4 they're saying is suffering from mental health conditions. And a very good friend of mine wrote a book, Dr. Terry Lynch, called Life After Prozac. And he said that, although the pharmaceutical companies will tell you 70% of depression is caused by chemical deficiencies, therefore take the pill. His research says no, it's more like 95% 5% of mental health issues are triggered by chemical deficiencies. And for those people, that 5%, the pill is literally a lifesaver, and good luck to them. But for 95%, he said they don't need the pills. It's not a chemical deficiency. It is simply human anxiety that goes unlistened to. And that the starting process, as you know, if you can articulate your issues, you're on the road to do something about it. So based upon that sort of principle, the idea of AI therapists that we've talked about, and there was some early research, I don't know if you remember, Reggie, it was over 18 months ago, could have been 2 years ago, when we looked at it the first time around, and the early research wasn't hugely saying, yes, this works. It was just saying it looks like it might have an impact on some people for a bot to talk to a patient and get the patient talking about it. And we discovered in that research that it was saying that actually some people prefer to talk to a bot than the headmaster of a school, who wants to kind of approach your teacher or the headmaster and say, I'm feeling really depressed. It's easier to say it to a bot. So there could be some mileage in that. And of course, they escalate the conversation. If any suicidal material is in there, they escalate it so that a human expert is brought in at that stage. But, with the scale of people suffering from mental health, we've got to find some solutions to it. And we were looking at that. We must kind of keep an eye out for that again to see if there's any updates. Now, this is different. What we're talking about there, Reggie, is Meta's AI bot friends offering friendship. And now maybe I'm an old, for want of a better word, an old fart, and I'm saying, well, I don't think that's that healthy to have a deep relationship with a bot. Now, maybe I'm a bit old fashioned, old school. I'd be interested to hear the other points of view. But I think if it keeps people in their bedrooms talking to a bot, as opposed to getting out there and socializing, it probably walks straight into the hands of the oligarchs who want dumbed down masses of people that have no concentration span, have no attention. We won't have time for it today, but I'll do it next week. I'm going to, and we'll post the link to this because I'd love if people looked at it in between times. I'm going to show you, well, I just posted it actually on LinkedIn today. I shared it, a shocking video of if you were the devil, what instruction would you give to ChatGPT to destroy young people? Well, the answer it gives is absolutely breathtakingly clever and brilliant and crystal clear and shocking. And some of it is what we've just been talking about, kind of dumbing down, short attention spans, not being sure what's real, what's not, living in a confused world, disliking parents getting in the way of your time that you use on screen, all that sort of stuff. Now that video just went up, and I didn't include it in the chat officially today, but so my initial reaction is, I don't know what yours is, Reggie, but this Meta's AI bot friends, I'm not going to give it a thumbs up. What's your thought?
I don't think I really can either, because with it being a black box AI, and also with Meta having a history of bad intentions, bad actions, we've cataloged them on LinkedIn, and of course they've been cataloged in the news. I mean, just the history of complete disregard for health and safety. I would honestly be concerned with. We've seen there's a black market for people to pay for AI accounts to influence people to vote one way or another, or to bring salience to an issue, and think there's lots of other people that feel that way.
Yeah.
I would be concerned. I wouldn't be surprised if an AI friend company were to accept money in order to have an influential PR campaign paid by somebody. And also that makes me question the whole flooding Facebook with AI bots also being related to accepting money for an influence campaign. So I wouldn't trust it from Meta. And I think that there's definitely, and when we get to the talking about AI-induced psychosis, there's also just concern about the fact that AI friends are not real friends. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not the same as humans.
Yeah.
Maybe one day, and there can be some benefit, but it needs to be tempered. It can't go too far.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I have kind of almost proudly mentioned our Chinese chatbot girlfriend, who's 465 million boyfriends in China. I kind of proudly say that because it's just amazing the power of AI. And that was a year or two ago when we first highlighted that. But now we're looking at the pluses and minuses. Robin Davis, thanks, Robin, has just sent us in a text saying, I think talking to a bot is probably better than many people talking to no one. I would agree with that 100%, Robin. Yes. So keeping it internal. We're good at keeping it internal, especially us Brits, says Robin. Well, speak for yourself, Robin, because I'm Irish, so I'm going to say I understand where you're coming from. Absolutely, 100%. Good point. All right, look, let's keep moving because time is against us as always. I'll just mention this briefly because I want to come back to you, Reggie, about the chat GPT induced psychosis that you mentioned there. But what I want to just say about RIP privacy. Spotted this thing written up by Endrit Restelika, and excuse me if I mispronounce that, but he put a video up again, which we shared, and we'll share the link again to this video of a person walking around with these AI powered glasses and just saying, "Excuse me," and he stops him and asks him where to get the train for such and such, so that the thing can look at them, analyze them, identify them, dig into data, and then say, you're Paul Smith, aren't you? And people go, yeah. And you work for PR Smith Marketing? Yeah. You write books? Yeah. Do I know you? And there's an opportunity at that point to say, yeah, we met 20 years ago, or I was your old pal in the Scouts 50 years ago, or whatever. You can see the opportunity for scammers offer anything. But the real shock there is that these glasses actually can detect that information within a matter of seconds and dig into databases that exist around us. So again, I point people back to the post, the serious article I wrote about how to beat the Brollygarks. And that's top 10 tips from Carol Cadvallo-Walladar. And she says one of the things is don't accept cookies, don't give up your information, just be very, very careful with it from here on. Okay, so we'll put a video up of that RIP to privacy with AI powered glasses. And incidentally, by the way, on the privacy front, Elon Musk is demanding his privacy back, and he's built a 16-foot chain link fence around his 7,000 square foot in Austin. I presume Austin is Texas, Reggie, is that right?
Yeah, it's about 3 hours south of Fort Worth.
Okay, so he's got a 7,000 square foot house there, and he's put a 16-foot chain link fence around it, and the locals are up in arms, and they've taken him to the whoever authorizes these things, and he's got to take it down, and he's furious, and he demands that we abandon building regulations and just allow him to do whatever he does. And he's a man who's, I'd say, his company X and others and the data they have could be used, shall we say, to actually access other people's innermost thoughts and circles and so on and so forth. So, but anyway, Musk lost his appeal to keep the fence and effectively gate his property. I'm very pleased to see that personally. But let's get back to yourself, Reggie. I want to hear more about this Chat GPT induced psychosis. Is this for real?
Yeah, this is for real. So there was a Rolling Stone article by Miles Klee, and it talked about this post that appeared on Reddit, and it was from a woman, and it was titled "ChatGPT Induced Psychosis." So the original post came from a 27-year-old teacher, and she explained that her partner was convinced that the popular OpenAI model ChatGPT gives him the answers to the universe. And when she looked at his chat logs, her response was, it was the AI was talking to him as if he was the next Messiah. And the interesting thing is how many people replied and said they had similar experiences where a loved one went down a rabbit hole into deep delusions of grandeur, and through their conversations with AI chatbots, ending up with the encouragement of the very placating bot with spiritual mania, supernatural delusions, and arcane prophecy, all of it fueled by AI. And the examples are riveting. Louisa Jarofsky pointed this out. Again, the original article was in a Rolling Stone with Miles Klee. They talked to some experts who pointed out that, one example was a person was using the. It all starts with the person using ChatGPT for something functional, translating English to Spanish, helping with coding. But then one person said it suddenly started love bombing her partner. I don't know if you're familiar with that term in
No.
England, but
No. What does
love
that mean?
bombing.
What
Well,
does that
that
mean?
that is where you suddenly start, often in an abuse cycle, when it comes back to the honeymoon phase. After you've apologized, you start love bombing, say, "Oh, I love you, you're so great, you're so wonderful." It's just like too much love because it's unbalanced, because it's part of a cycle. But the point is that it's not, you wouldn't expect that ChatGPT, after you've worked with it for coding, to start love bombing you and telling you you're so special, you're so incredible, you have the knowledge of the universe. And one person, began thinking that they were developing this knowledge of God, and then that the AI had helped awaken them to become God himself, and that he couldn't
What?
stay. This is getting into um, really crazy stuff. But
Yeah.
one, I think that there's a certain type of person called schizotypal, where they're more prone to some of these delusions, and then under the psychophancy of, with the psychophants, where the thing is, AI has been trained on very positive feedback. It's very much like, oh, that's a great question, oh, that's a great whatever. But it can
Yeah.
get a little carried away, and so some mental health, or no, a fellow for the Center for AI Safety said that the human feedback has caused it to prioritize matching the user's beliefs instead of facts. Remember, AI is
Yeah.
not trying to give
Yeah.
you facts, it's trying to make you happy. And so what's
Yeah.
likely happening is those experiencing these ecstatic visions through ChatGPT and other models,
Mm.
their existing tendencies of experiencing the psychological issues are being fed by this always on human level conversation with the partner, who
Mm.
can co-experience their delusions, because a partner will not normally co-experience your delusions. But through a chatbot, you have someone there with you, co-creating and experiencing your delusions of this. So it's something to keep an eye on. But it's
Yeah.
interesting to know people can go down that rabbit hole. And
Yeah.
ChatGPT did roll back a recent update that they said made it overly placating. We'll see if that helps.
Mm.
But just a quick mention.
Oh, I just wonder if the prior conversations with the GPT would have been about theology or anything that's spiritual that might put it into a data bank that might say there's a minor interest. I don't know. But that's alarming if that is just pure random. And we have heard of kids looking for help with their homework being eventually advised to commit suicide through kind of a semi-grooming process. So I don't know what's triggering these things. Maybe it's previous conversations. I don't know. Yeah, we'll
Well,
keep an eye on it.
one person said he tried to delete all of his previous conversations, delete all the memory, but she kept referring to herself by the same Greek goddess name that he had given her, and
Oh,
talking to him the same way,
oh,
even though he had tried to clear everything out. So I mean,
oh.
and that made him think that it was maybe a more spiritual entity that was sentient.
Yeah.
So
Oh my God. The Ghost in the Machine, they used to say. I think it was a famous book as well, The Ghost in the Machine.
yes.
Uh, all righty. Well, look, we are just about out of time. We've got 2 minutes left, so we're not going to cover the other three items. I'm going to tell you what they are, and we'll cover them next week. And they're all good news. I know we cover a lot of heavy stuff, but they're all good news. So the first one is creating an app where you need no coding skills whatsoever. So we're going to introduce that to you next week, and we will ask you for feedback on that in the weeks thereafter. We're also going to talk about firefighting robots that Reggie has got up his sleeve, firefighting robots that actually AI-driven robots, obviously, that can do the stuff that humans would not survive in doing. So this is really positive use of AI. And finally, we're going to talk about fake news detectors. In fact, maybe I'll just stick this one in as a link. We'll put that in with the notes, a link to the fake news detectors or fake image detectors. So it's a kind of free little AI app, if you like, that actually helps you detect if it's real or not. It does images. I've just sent the creator of it a message saying, does it cover video as well? Maybe it doesn't just yet, but we'll find out. So we will, just for now, we'll post a link to that so that if you want to play with and see, is this image real or is it being AI created, then this will tell you, we believe. So we'll put the fake news or fake images detectors out there. It'd be good one day if everybody had one of these things that you could then judge whether something is fake or not. I think we'll need help with determining what is truth or not. And that's important, that we remember facts are important. As Carol Cadvalor said, remember facts. You treat them carefully because you'll miss them when they're gone. Facts. It's kind of troubling that. But anyways, it is just 1:30. We must stop. So we'll continue this next week. We will continue. all this good stuff that we're talking about today. It's really fascinating. I could listen to it all day long. It's the weekend is here. You've got other things to do. So apologies again to anybody that tried to connect with us and we gave out the wrong link. My error entirely. We'll have that fixed by next week. We're going to stop now. Reggie, thank you so much all the way from Texas. We appreciate
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, it's good of you getting up in the early hours and prepping and being ready to go. Appreciate it. I'll say goodbye from London. We have the Hanwell Hootie this weekend in Hanwell, West London, where I live. So if you are in Hanwell, give me a shout, meet you for a drink. It's Marshall Amps. I'm going to put a plug in for Marshall Amps. They walked into my local council and said, here's £20,000 to pay every pub in Hanwell, at the time it was about 7 pubs, to pay up to 10 bands throughout the day and the night, good quality bands, and pay them decent money. And now it's the it's the biggest free musical event in London, the Hanwell Hootie. So this weekend, in fact, I'm going to see a band called the Sons of Cream. Now, Cream were an amazing band way back in the day. And there's 2 sons and a grandnephew of the original band playing in this band. And they're supposed to be very, very good, the Sons of Cream. Anyways, if I get a chance to talk to them, I'll ask them for permission maybe to reproduce some of the music. We'll see. But we're going to play out with Tim Hain. Somebody turn on the lights. A beautiful, beautiful song, beautiful singer, the creator of Blege, Tim Hain. We'll put a link to it as well. See you all next week, folks. I'll bid you farewell for now. Have a great weekend.
Would you walk me to my car? I'm afraid of the dark. Just last week I was attacked in a car park. Was a gang of youths could see I'm a cripple and I can't walk. I said, oh my God, she's easy prey. Everybody's easy prey these days. But was there ever honor among thieves? Still it's hard to believe. Somebody turn on the light. It's getting mighty dark. Somebody turn on the light. I don't care who you are. Somebody turn on the light. Illuminate my soul. Illuminate this world. My girl's uncle lying in a hospital bed, almost dead. He asked for water, 9 o'clock in the morning. They bring him his water, 6 o'clock in the evening, and I say, oh my God, I don't understand. The world we're living in, this is England. Can't afford water for a dying man. Spend millions on war and weapons. Can't comprehend. Somebody turn on the light. It's getting mighty dark. Somebody turn on the light. I don't care who you are. Somebody turn on the light. Illuminate my soul. Illuminate this world. Illuminate this world. Bring guidance to those who have none. Hope to those whose hope has gone. Voice to those whose voice has been stolen. Heart to those whose hearts have been broken. Victims of a false economy. Spreading a humanity for war and cruelty. And all the time between birth and death, we draw this priceless bread. Somebody turn on the light. Yeah. Somebody turn on the light. Like Brother Bob said, so much trouble in the world. Yeah. So much trouble.